Really pretty look aside from this giant bug on our camera, but we do have lots of blue sky, a few clouds mixing in. Our temperature at 91 and our feels like temperature 100. So we have some humidity, but maybe it's not quite as bad as it could be. And also it should lower a little bit more as we get into the next couple of days. It will also not be quite as hot. In fact, our high temperatures may only be around 90 as opposed to just barely getting to 90 at noon, with a lot more heat to go in the afternoons. And we have no tropical threats. To me, looking at these headlines, this is about as good as you could ask for at the end of August, the final week of August in particular. So today, hot, not quite as muggy. You may notice a little bit of a difference, especially if you're in the shade, or this evening and early tomorrow morning. We are expecting a little bit of a bigger dip in humidity. It's not giant, but it should be a bit more pronounced late Tuesday and Wednesday, with a front moving through and no tropical threats. And actually a glance at the long range models, which aren't completely reliable the farther out you go, of course, but it looks like it could be a long, quiet spell for us with no threats, at least through early September. Temperatures right now in the lower 90s. Our feels like temperature up to about 100, most spots in the 90s for feels like temps, and our dew points in the 70s, solid 70s farther south. But look at this, some 60s farther north. So the farther north you go, the more you're going to get in on that slight break in the humidity and mugginess. Dew points in the 60s. It's still humid, but not as bad as 70s, which is our usual territory for dew point temperatures at this point in summer. And then a nice fall cold front would bring those dew point temperatures all the way into the 50s. So a few spots to our north may get in on that in the next couple of days. Also on live radar, I think all we're going to see in the next couple of days is some coastal showers and storms. We do have a little bit of that approaching Grand Isle right now, so you might see this downpour coming your way. So just a heads up in Grand Isle and farther south of Pilot Town. We have a front, you can see, with that slightly drier air farther north across our area. It will very slowly push south today. So this takes us to tomorrow morning, pretty quiet, only a coastal shower or storm expected as this slightly drier air moves in. Tomorrow 3 p.m. maybe a flare up of, again, a coastal shower, maybe a storm or two, but not really so much for inland areas. And then that slightly less humidity kind of feeling should arrive late Tuesday and into Wednesday. Today, high temperatures still near 95. Our average is 91, so we're above average for those temperatures. Tonight, 70 or so north of the lake, so it could be pretty nice feeling there, especially with that break in the mugginess, and south of the lake, still 70s, maybe upper 70s in fact, but again, not quite as muggy. In the tropics, we just have the one system, Tropical Storm Ferna, and this is getting a little better organized, but you can see a lot of the convection off to the eastern side of the system, and it's not very strong, although its winds have come up to 60 miles per hour. But it looks like as it moves farther to the north, there's more wind shear and there will be cooler water temperatures. So it's going to probably fizzle and weaken a good bit tomorrow, and then maybe be finished by Wednesday. No threat to land. And the only other spot was this Invest 99 that we've been tracking, now moving into the far eastern Caribbean. But models just keep this super messy and have a lot of wind shear, so not good conditions to get a hurricane or something forming. So the National Hurricane Center has actually dropped its chance of development to 0%. So not looking for a formation with this particular Invest. Our hurricane season names, we've made it now to Ferna. The next one would be Gabrielle and then Umberto, but we just haven't seen that forming up, or looks like anything could form up for Gabrielle in the next several days at least. And today, of course, takes us closer to the peak day, September 10th of hurricane season. So about 15 days away from that peak, and then we'll be past the peak. Still with activity probably, of course, through the month of September, one of the most active months for hurricanes, but we will perhaps by that point start getting more cold fronts, which could be a good pattern to get into, especially as we get toward October. Notice the temperatures coming down a bit and the rain chance going up, with a little more humidity likely returning this weekend.
All right, today we heard from Saints head coach Kellen Moore. After the break, a look at